You know what? I'm getting a little rusty again. Sorry, folks. I think everybody heard me. Mrs. Kui, would you lead us in Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we please remain standing for a moment of silence for first responders and military members? Please be seated. Monica, may I have roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilmember Roth.
Present.
Councilmember Upal.
Present.
Councilmember Wallace.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Present.
For the record, Mayor Moran is not in attendance.
Thank you. And closed session announcements. We have no reportable action. At the conclusion of our regular meeting, we will be adjourning back into the closed session and come out and report afterwards. Council changes to the agenda, please. Anybody has any changes to the agenda?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to pull items 2, 3, 4, and 5 from consent for separate consideration.
Okay, council, do we have a consensus? Does anybody want to make a motion?
All motion to move items 2, 3, 4, and 5 on consent for separate consideration.
Do I have a second? I will second it. May I have a roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilmember Roth.
Yes.
Councilmember Upal.
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to go to citizen comments. This section of the agenda allows the members of the public to address the city council on any items not on the agenda. Members of the public and recognized by the mayor should come forward to the lectern and identify themselves. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes in accordance with the open meeting law. No action will be taken by the city council this evening. Does anybody wish to come forward for citizen comment? Now, I am going to allow separate conversation on the consent items as each item comes up. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council and staff. So my name is Jean Okui. I live at 10181 Olive Avenue, Livingston. And I have sent something in, but I would like to read it also. Hello, Livingston City Council members. I am pleased to have the opportunity to make comments regarding the agenda for the July 15th, 2025 meeting. At this time, with the transit station plan for AC train stopping in Livingston, the Rite Aid store closing, and the Recplex development plan, downtown Merced has the opportunity to be put on the map as a place of community. How we build will determine this. Please advise what this is the plan for the ACE train transit station. I am part of a Strong Towns Merced group. We are one of about 300 local conversation groups in North America, as Canada, United States mainland. Our team is attempting to gain some insight into the planning for the Livingston Atwater ACE train station. And can you point us to preliminary studies or site selection criteria? We also, what work needs completion to prepare the funding agreement? Strong Towns is replacing America post-war pattern of development, the suburban experiment, with a pattern of development that is financially strong and resilient. We advocate for cities of all sizes to be safe, livable, and inviting. We elevate local government as the highest level of collaboration for people working together in a place, not merely the lowest level in the hierarchy of government. I look forward to learning more about Livingston's plans for moving forward, and please send me information. You have my email. Thank you. Do I need to sign this?
No, you don't have to. Thank you, Ms. Kui. Anybody else wish to make a citizen comment in the audience at this time? If not, anybody on the phone that would like to make a comment? Hearing no one on the phone or anybody coming forward, we'll move on to County Supervisor announcements and reports. And I believe we have somebody to report on Mr. Pacheco's behalf. Please come forward.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Denora Mesquita. I am currently an intern at the Board of Supervisors. I am currently assisting Supervisor Pacheco and Pedroso. Unfortunately, Supervisor Pacheco couldn't be here today, but he did have a couple announcements he wanted me to share. The first being that at the board meeting of June 17th, the Board of Supervisors passed their proposed budget, and the staff is working on the final budget that will be discussed in September. At the July 8th meeting, the Board of Supervisors voted to hire Mark Hendrickson as the new county CEO. The board will now begin the recruitment to fill the vacant assistant CEO position. And a quick reminder that the next Board of Supervisor meeting will be held July 22nd at 10 a.m., so I hope to see you all there. I will now take any questions or concerns that you have for me to pass on to Supervisor Pacheco.
Council, any questions?
I just have one.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, well, thank you. Pleasure meeting you. If you can just convey to Mr. Pacheco that we look forward to catching up with him on the 21st of July, which will be the beginning of our negotiations for the tax sharing agreement. And we will be providing some information ahead of time for him and his staff.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Okay, anybody in the audience have any questions? Anybody on the phone? Hearing none? Thank you very much, Denora.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to announcements, staff, announcements, reports, city staff announcements, reports. Does anybody have any report from the audience, from the staff?
No.
Anthony, engineering, planning, HR, PD? I knew I would find somebody eventually, so thank you.
Good evening, Council. Interim Police Chief John Ramirez. It's nice to see all your faces again after about 8 or 9 months. But I just wanted to come up real quick and invite everybody and let the community know we're going to be participating in the National Night Out this year. It's going to be on Tuesday, August 5th. We're going to be hosting it from the police station, and it'll be from 5:30 to about 8 o'clock. I know you have council that day, but we'll probably start set up about 4:30. So if you want to come by, I've already invited Mr. Tran. So we'll be having, it's a free event open to the community and to the public. We're going to be having some food, music, games. We're going to be raffling some prizes and also free microchipping that day. And I believe our code enforcement / animal control officer is working on some vouchers for maybe some spade neutering that day as well. So again, it's going to be Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, in front of the police station from 5:30 to about 8 o'clock. And I do have a flyer if I could come hand each of you. All right.
Thank you.
And that's all I had. If we have any questions.
I have one. You said that the animal control is going to be having vouchers for spay or neuter program?
Yeah, so he's going to get a hold of the clinic that we use, and we're probably going to eat the cost on a couple of those for a raffle. And then also free microchipping that day as well.
Okay. Council, any questions for interim chief? Public, any questions? Audience? On the phone? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
City manager announcements and reports?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem and Council and public, thank you very much. A few things to communicate out. You probably have seen that there's been some movement of some dirt out over there by the Livingston Medical Clinic. That's Self-Help, who has started the construction of the apartment complexes. And you've probably seen some road work because there's been limited access from time to time on B Street. So the Visionary Housing, which is the Tierra Santa apartments, they're also going to be opening their facilities up starting in October. We did get a request from a member of the public as far as how their lottery was going to go and all those things. And so we're going to ask them to provide a little bit more information so that we can broadcast that information out to the public. Again, they're focusing on Livingston residents, and we're really happy about that. And so the road work that you see there is part of the conditions of approval for the Tierra Santa. In addition to that, it's called the what is it called? Where they dispense water over there by Dollar Tree. I forget what the actual name is.
General Dollar?
Yeah, I guess it is the windmill. Yeah, so they're going to actually be revamping that. They're going to build something a little more nicer, and so that's coming as well. And then lastly, for the council, there is a city-county dinner coming up. We need RSVP by the 20th of July, so if you can let Monica know, that would be great. That is it, unless you have questions for me.
Council, any questions?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, no questions for the city manager. Did want to say we just had a field rep come in from Congressman Gray's office. Not sure if he has anything to report, but wanted to ask that if we could give him the floor now before we get moving, if he does.
Okay. Are you completed with?
I was just going to say, Anthony, it's called the Watermill. Yeah, I knew it was different.
Watermill Express.
But thank you. Yeah.
Watermill Express,
All
isn't
right,
it?
yes, something like that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, are you complete? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Councilmember Upo, state that who was it you wanted to?
Field rep from Congressman Gray's office, Mr. Prasad.
Oh, okay. I know you're on the agenda, but go ahead and come up and give us your update, and please introduce yourself and welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, everyone. My name is Karthik Prasad, here on behalf of Congressman Adam Gray. And sorry I'm late. Got stuck in traffic, unsurprisingly, so hope you can forgive me for that. But yeah, I'm here to just give a quick legislative update to the City Council and members of the public that are present here. We have been very, very busy over in D.C. and have introduced a whole boatload of bills. Just yesterday, the Congressman introduced the Livestock Indemnity Program Improvement Act that updates USDA's payment rates to ensure that farmers are fairly compensated. And last week, we introduced the Protecting Patient Access to Cancer and Complex Therapies Act, which aims to ensure fair reimbursement to medical providers and also enables for some commercial availability for patients. The PFAS Alternatives Act was also introduced, which aims to support the development of next generation PFAS-free firefighting gear, which if anyone here knows anything about firefighting knows that's a huge concern among firefighters. Additionally, that was introduced with the Honoring Our Fallen Heroes Act, which aims to expand federal support to families of first responders who have passed away due to exposure to carcinogens on the line of duty. And I mean, last month we had the Wildlife Response and Preparedness Act, the Valley Water Protection Act, and particular importance to the Strive Act, which aims to limit copay for veterans at VA health centers. Couldn't have done any of this without a lot of the input and a lot of the comments that we received from members of constituency, including members of the City Council. So we want to thank you all for that. Additionally, just wanted to let the members of the public know that we're going to be having some mobile district office hours in Merced this Wednesday from 10 to 12 at the Merced City Council chambers. And if you can't make it all the way over there, in Atwater on July 24th, 1:30 to 3:30 on 760 East Bellevue, we'll also be having some mobile district office hours. So if you've got any tomatoes to throw at the congressman, I'm more than happy to take them. And we're always looking for more ways that we can help out with the community. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. Don't want to take up too much of your time.
Okay, hold on. Council, any questions? I have one. I know you can't answer this, and I didn't expect you to, but we all know what the temperature is like with the with the current administration in DC and their support for high-speed rail, but is there any kind of movement that our congressmen or that anybody looking forward to try to encourage support for high-speed rail? Because it's going to be very critical in moving forward with ACE Train and other projects that we have. So do you know of anything that we don't know other than what we see on Facebook somewhere? Or maybe you can get it back to us?
Yeah, more than happy to follow up with you, with City Council on that more in depth. Off the top of my head, as far as I'm aware, currently the ball is on the state side of things. So I'm sure the State Assemblywoman's office would have a much better update for you regarding that. But we can definitely go back tomorrow and take a closer look at that and forward you some materials.
Yeah, I have been in contact with our state representatives, but it's also the federal level contributions or buy-ins that are also critical as well, you know. So it's just more of a...
Yeah, as far as that goes, it's pretty much everything that's been reported. We haven't heard anything other than what's been publicly available. So we're, as always, we're very optimistic about things, but of course, we can always look further into that and get you some more information.
Thank you. Councilor, any questions?
Good to see you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you too. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to conflict of interest declaration. Members of the City Council will declare an actual or apparent conflict of interest before discussion or decisions about any matters in which they or anyone with whom they have close personal relationships should directly or indirectly benefit, or where such benefit would be received. Does anybody wish to declare any conflict of interest at this time? Seeing none, then move on to consent agenda. As we know, as requested, we will be pulling items 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the meantime, item number 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Does anybody wish to make any comments on that? If not, then does anybody wish to make a motion to approve the consent?
Was that public comment that you opened?
Oh, okay, this item is now open to the public. Does anybody wish to comment on, not the items we're pulling for discussion, but the other items? Does anybody wish to make comments? See no one? Anybody on the phone? Hearing nobody, Council, any further comments or motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Councilmember Upal. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
A second by Councilmember Roth. May I have roll call, please?
Roll call, Councilmember Roth,
Yes.
Councilmember Upal,
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
Okay, this is item number 2. We're pulling for discussion. It's a consideration of resolution approving the Measure V Regional Project Funding Agreement between Merced County Association of Government and the City of Livingston for Campbell Boardwalk Court Project, and the city manager to execute the agreement. And this is prepared by engineering. Would you like to take this at this time?
Yeah, I don't know if they want us to take all of them because a lot of the information is going to overlap.
Okay, Councilman Rupel, do you wish to discuss them individually or all at once?
I pulled these items to allow for public comment on them. It was requested by me to do so, and so I'll leave it to members of the public to provide any commentary that they see as fit on the 4 items.
Okay, thank you. This item is now open to the public. Does anybody wish to make comments?
Gino Cooey again. You have my information from before, so I won't repeat it. I have concerns about transparency with everything we do. I think it's important, and I'm wondering, I know that there's a Merced County Association of Government meeting coming up on Thursday, I believe, this week. It seems like, the public, I don't know if the public is aware of anything, a preparation for them approving, what do they call it, the funding. You have to get approval and you have to do a design or a plan. And I understand projects were approved some of them back to 2019. But only one project is in the design stage, and I just learned that today. You know, I don't know where we are, but and times change. Look at what we have now, right? Aid's leaving. We've got a possible ACE train coming in, but if we don't do our due diligence and make sure that that is properly presented, Atwater's going to take it because they're an alternate. And if you guys want to have that, and I believe we need to get people off the highways. You know, I'm all for public transportation, so it's really important that we do our due diligence. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to give an update?
Yeah. What I would like to do is, I'm going to give a big overview of how the thought process behind projects. You know, what are some of the requirements and what does staff look like, and then how we bring those items to the council and then, you know, to the public. And then I could specifically talk about, you know, each specific project. So the way this all works is that it's data driven. This information that you know, we look at what is data and then information, and that's what drives everything that we do in this community. So for instance, once we have that in place, we also take into account a number of different things. Funding, whether it be federal funding or local funding, also public input, public comment like you're providing now, and public complaints, because many will say, hey, regardless of what kind of infrastructure it is, we have these problems. And then there's also these different plans, like for instance, if we're talking about transportation, circulation plans, okay, and how do they play into this? And then different departments like Public Works. Public Works we have a public management system, and those public management systems looks at all of our different roads in town, and then they're graded on terms of, color coded green to red. Red, of course, we all know what red means. And so we then determine whether it requires a slurry seal, a fog seal, if it requires major construction. And then we have other partners like Caltrans that come into play, and because we receive different funding from them in terms of how, we have to interact with them. And then we look at, if there's any expansions, and then there's other entities, like for instance, MCAG, you mentioned MCAG. So there's a regional transportation project list that they come up with. And then, by the way, they change it from time to time, and so there's different types of criteria. And so then we have to try to figure out, of all the projects and the needs that we have, how we can match funding with priority, with council's priority, public priority, and then move those along. And then you get to a point where you have to do a project study report. They call it the PSR. And that project study report usually costs about $165,000, and it's pretty extensive. That's for me. Can you take that one? And then I was trying to be funny. And then when we do that, we actually look and see, are we going to require more, if our EIR that we have that covers the city, if it's not covered under that, then do we need to do more extensive environmental review? So we might have to hire a specialist, and we'll know that with the PSR. And then do we need an architect? Do we need an engineer, a specialized engineer? If not, then our current engineering team addresses all those different things. And that goes for the design. And then towards the back end, you have what is the environmental, package. Again, the PSR is going to say, do you need a specialized EIR, or if we are good what we currently have? So that's kind of how all this works and comes together. It's not easy. It's a little complicated, but we do that. Now, these projects that you just mentioned, some of them go as back as 2019, and as you know, because of the studies that are required, the public input, the transparency, and the funding, these projects can take on a life of many years. Okay, so the last set of projects were approved in I believe it was July of 2023. And so some of these projects are listed in there. Now, right here, the first project talks about the Campbell and Hammett area. That project, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, I left in 2021, and I came back just recently, about 3-4 months ago. But back in 2021, one of the projects was this Hammett and Campbell, and we wanted to get that project completed and done prior to ARCO coming in, because we knew ARCO was going to come in, and then Moonglow, who's now, their name is Quickway, in order to address that whole intersection prior to the construction. However, that project was halted by one of my predecessors, and so that project stayed dormant for a few years, and so we're revitalizing that one, and our mayor actually, with the council, pushed so that as part of that project, that it extended all the way to Walnut and addressed that intersection there. And so that has been incorporated here. So again, these projects, that's kind of how that all works. What's the thinking behind it, all the different moving parts. And then it comes to the council if they pass a resolution moving forward the projects. And then we all get to work on them, all the back stuff that I just mentioned. So that's specific to Campbell and Hammett. And I'll address the other ones as we get there.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. Any other questions from the public? Anybody on the phone has any questions? Hearing none, this item is now closed to the public. Council, any comments?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, couple of things. Mr. Ramirez, can you please clarify exactly who will be handling the PSR, the project study report?
Yes, yeah, the PSR is actually done by our engineering team, okay? And so we basically work on, like I said, all those different aspects in there in great detail, because MCAG requires that for certain types of projects. I don't know if engineering wants to add anything else. Go ahead.
Mr. Martinez, come on up.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, public. Noe Martinez from the Office of the City Engineer. And yeah, just to elaborate more on what City Manager was saying about what's included in the PSR. Normally, when a project is conceived, it comes from a vision, right? It's like the city comes up with, okay, we would like to do this, and then it goes through the vetting process, and a lot of the projects get well defined in the early stages, but some don't. So PSR normally comes into play when a project is not fully defined, and one of the aspects of the PSR is to basically come up with a fully defined project, and that's the case with a couple of the projects we have here, mainly the Transit Center and the Campbell Corridor. So that takes into account, like City Manager was saying, what are going to be the environmental requirements, what are going to be the right-of-way requirements, and a whole slew of items that are not known at this point.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Ramirez, some of these projects are going to get to the design phase at some point. Does engineering also cover design, and then even the environmental piece of that? Do we know who's going to be assigned those roles?
Yes, so I would say the majority of the projects, we pretty much do it in-house with our engineering team, but there is some specialty areas where they will not be able to address. So then, as part of the PSR, then we basically start looking at that level of involvement. So that's how that kind of works. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
Yeah, so for a lot of our projects, especially where we're doing mainly street rehab work, where we know we're working within the right-of-way, we know we're working with an existing structure. The environmental process gets pretty simple in terms of sometimes just it's a matter of filing a notice of exemption or categorical exemption.
Exclusion.
Sometimes they get fully complex, like the transit center that has already gone through an EIR from the state. And as part of our work is going to be to look at that EIR and see what needs to be supplemented specifically for our project here in Livingston.
So as you can see, it's a little complicated, but we follow what the state requires, what the feds require, and then some of these different agencies, and we just kind of chug it along. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So just to be clear, our engineering team will be handling PSR design and environmental work unless we find that there's some sort of specialty that we need outside consulting from.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Nui.
Any other questions?
One request of council as it relates to this item may just be a grammatical thing, but if you take a look at the resolution for this item, you can go to page 18 on your agenda. If you look at the last line where it says whereas, I compared the resolutions with the three other items, just given that they were very similar in nature. They're all Measure V projects that we're planning out long-term for. Just notice that the last line, the last whereas line for the resolution on item 2 is different from the line that exists on items 3, 4, and 5, which are on pages 32, 43, and 55. And I was going to request that the council amend that last line of the resolution to match the last line of the resolutions for items 3, 4, and 5, specifically that last whereas line. And if council is okay with that, I did already provide that language to the clerk so that it's easier for us to file it in.
Okay. Any other questions?
If there's no other questions or comments, I'll move to approve the resolution as amended.
Before you go, I have one question for, just a quick question. I know we mentioned that it has to go through EIR and all that, and at the state level, and I'm kind of a little bit confused, maybe you can clarify. The state is lightening up on their SECA requirements and all that. Does that only impact housing, or does that also impact EIRs for transportation? Do you know of anything, or is that too early right now?
Our city attorney maybe can chime in on
Thank
this.
you.
Yeah.
It's limited to housing.
Yeah, I kind of heard it, but I wasn't sure if it bled over or not. It saved some money there. But
Yeah, that would be nice.
it saved a lot of money. Okay, thank you. At this time,
Council, I will move to approve item 2 with the resolution as amended.
I have a motion by Councilmember Upel. Do I have a second?
Second it.
I have a second by Councilmember Roth. May I have roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilmember Roth.
Yes.
Councilmember Upal.
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
Okay, item number 3, this is a consideration of the resolution approving the amendment to Measure V Regional Project Funding Agreement between Merced County Association of Government and City of Livingston for the Hammett and Campbell intersection project, and authorize city manager to execute an agreement. Councilmember Upel, you pulled it?
Same as the other items, I was requested to pull these for potential public comment, and so if we can go out to public comment, that would be great.
Okay, then this item is now open to the public. Does anybody wish to comment on item number 3? It's pretty much the same, okay. It is pretty much the same, but okay. Anybody on the phone? See nobody in the audience coming forward or on the phone. This item is now closed to the public. Council, any comments?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, did ask this to the city manager earlier, would like to touch on it at the dais. Got a call from a resident this morning that was pretty frustrated that we started this project in 2019 and we're still working on it today and still planning it out. I let them know that I was in high school in 2019, so I couldn't help with the request at that time. But if staff can provide some context on just the timeline here and where we were and where we're at now.
Sure. I passed out an email that I printed out, and I provided it to legal and all of the council members. I rather not read out the name that communicated this out. What's more important to you and for the public is that a former city manager, and I'm not going to say when, only to say that there was basically a communication, a written communication and verbal communication that basically said, please halt all work and costs associated with this project. And so I provided a copy of that email to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Just for clarification that I've got from legal, this letter is subject to public records request. So it is available. Somebody wants it, they can more than welcome to request it.
Yeah, my style is just not to, throw anybody under the bus. I just communicate the facts.
Okay, thank you. Council, any other questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion at this time. Does anybody wish to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I have a motion by, I go to my right, Councilmember Wallace. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Councilmember Roth. May I have roll call, please?
Question, are you going to approve with the amended language that,
That was only for, was that just?
That was only for item 2. Items 3, 4, and 5 already have that language.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Wallace. I have a second by Councilmember Roth. May I have a roll call, please?
Roll call, Councilmember Roth,
Yes.
Councilmember Upal,
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes,
Motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
thank you very much. Item number 4, this is a consideration of the resolution approving the Measure V Regional Project Agreement between Merced County Association of Governments, City of Livingston for the Wooden Parkway rehabilitation, and authorize city manager to execute the agreement and any amendments thereto. Staff recommends approval. So this item is now open to the public. Does anybody have questions on the Wooden Parkway rehabilitation? I don't see anybody coming up from the audience. Anybody on the phone? Hearing no one calling in, item's not closed to the public. Council, any comments?
No comments, but I'd like to make a motion to approve it.
I have a motion by Councilmember Wallace. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Roth. May I have roll call, please?
Roll call, Councilmember Roth,
Yes.
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 Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
Okay, last item on the consent that was pulled for consideration. This is a number 5, this consideration of resolution in Livingston, of the City of Livingston approving the Measure V regional project between Merced County Association of Government and City of Livingston for the Livingston Transit Center, Phase 1 project, and authorizing city manager to execute the agreement and any amendments. This item is now open to the public. Does anybody have any questions on the transit center? I don't see anybody coming forward in the audience. Anybody on the phone? I don't hear anybody on the phone. This item is now closed to the public. Council, any comments?
I
Okay,
do once.
City Manager, go ahead, please.
Yes, if I can just make a quick presentation here. So this is in reference to Mrs. Okui and in your questions regarding the ACE train. Actually, I was here during that time frame, and this was something that came to the attention of our community back in, I believe it was May of 2020. And that's actually when there was an initiation of environmental impact report that where the state or actually not the state, it's the San Joaquin Rail Authority and the ACE train folks were looking at extending from Ceres to Merced, the Altamont Corridor Express train. And so once they actually did that, is when there was some direct competition between the city of Livingston and the city of Atwater. And so the city, the council, the staff, and the community rallied around that. And we actually, communicated with a lot of our business owners, communities, schools, you name it, to position the city to be able to land the station here. And in order to make it competitive, and we looked at all our different resources. So we were already talking about an actual transit center. And so why not look at multimodal opportunities? And especially when we knew that we were going to attract some multifamily housing projects here. And so that there was a transit-oriented developments that were going to take place, and that we can, be very competitive in this nature. And then we also approached one of the property owners, Mr. Vieira, who owns the property right next to Liberty Market on the other side, and he was very open to this, and he's actually been very active in this space. Even since my departure, he's been very active and has, I know, been in contact with the city on what's the latest on this. So the city actually was awarded the station in December of 2021. They had the final EIR, and it was adopted, and Livingston was selected. Which that means is that all the powers that be are going to help us with the funding to make that actually a reality. And so, as part of the regional transportation list of MCAG, we've programmed money, and from there we actually moved some money around, $1 million if I remember, or was it 1.9? It was 1 million. It was $1 million that I asked for ahead of time for the Hammett and Campbell to get that done. Unfortunately, it didn't, for what I've already communicated. But that money is still ours, and we're moving in that direction. And so we're going to do a project study report, which is going to provide a lot more defined information, and the public will continue to be enlightened. And I have a number of documents. There's some links to the EIR and all that stuff that I will provide to you.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. And one of the reasons I asked our representative from congressional is we all know what the current administration DC's support is for high-speed rail, and second for California. We know, and I'm not going to get into politics of it, but also if for some reason high-speed rail does not move forward or gets halted, it's going to make it extremely difficult for the ACE to expand because they're counting on connecting in Merced. But I also, from what I've been hearing, the state is still dedicated, and our governor is still wanting to fund it because state has spent a large number of dollars. I don't think they're going to just let it die. So they are trying to work on it. There's a lot of uncertainties out there. And also, on the ACE at the local level, our city manager, from the beginning, has been very involved. There was a little bit of a lapse when he was not the city manager, but his commitment at that time and currently his commitment is to be, it is there. And I am also, as a MCAG representative, also a representative for the Rail Committee, so I am also making sure that not only our rail projects move forward, but also the A3. I want to make sure that we do not get elbowed out. We're going to make sure that it stops in Livingston. Atwater can fight for their alternate if they want. They want to do another station there, fine, but I'm going to make sure that we definitely have our Livingston stopped, But I think we're all committed. I know that our staff's committed, and I know this council is committed for our ACE train. So I just wanted to let everybody know. And that's what I have. And at this time, does council have any comments on Item number 5? If not, then, do you have comment? And then if not, I will entertain a motion at this time.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Councilmember Roth. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Councilmember Upo. May I have roll call, please?
A roll call, Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Upal,
Yes.
Councilmember Wallace,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samra.
Yes.
Motion passes by a vote of 4-0.
Okay, thank you. And just to make sure, when I called for the initial motions for item numbers 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, did I mention 10? Because I think it was, did I mention 10? Okay, thank you, because when I flipped over, it was there. I hadn't checked it yet, so I thought maybe I forgot. So thank you very much. Okay, announcements and reports. City council members, Councilmember Upo, do you have any announcements and reports?
Just one. I was invited to the LHS All Alumni nonprofit meeting. I was there yesterday, earlier this week, invited by one of their board members. It was cool to spend time with some of our seniors in Livingston who are really dedicated to the city, have spent their lives here and are still looking to give back to students. Wanted to encourage the council to keep the date in mind of September 27th. There'll be an all alumni reunion at Memorial Park as there is every year. The organization is really moving to be more student oriented, which I have a lot of admiration for. They're trying to build up on the number of scholarships that they give to students. And so I definitely want to support in that pursuit. I just wanted to thank them for inviting me out.
Councilmember Roth, any comments?
Unfortunately, not tonight, Mayor Pro Tem. I've been very ill lately. I had walking pneumonia, so I'm getting over that. So thank you.
We appreciate your commitment. Thank you. Mr. Wallace?
Yeah, one item. For the National Night Out on the Police Department on August 5th, can we not have a special meeting at 6 o'clock or move it till after the regular meeting? That way council members and staff will be able to go to the National Night Out at the police station between 5:30 and
That's
7 o'clock.
That's a good point. Then we'll forward at the time. I'm not sure if the mayor will be chairing the meeting at the time, but we'll forward that request.
Thank you.
Anybody else? For me, I just wanted to thank the staff for 4th of July. It was great. I seen Councilmember Upel there. I don't know if you were selling tickets or you were trying to do this raffle thing, but
I was just volunteering at the booths.
you were on the booths. I know you were doing something, and I was too busy just shaking hands with everybody and having a good time. And I do want to thank the city, as always, for doing a great job. Public Works, your folks were there. PD, even our interim was there. Thank you guys, as always. I still got my little PD bracelet, and I became an honorary cop for a little while because I had a little junior police badge on here for a while. But it was really fun. Fireworks were great, and the staff did a great job, as always. And other than that, I don't have anything else. Hold on. We'll give Councilman Roth just a couple of minutes to see if how he's doing. You gotta hand it to the commitment. The guy, as sick as he is, still wanted to attend the meeting. There's water back
Yeah,
there.
we got water.
You got water. It's just,
He just has pneumonia.
yeah, water's not gonna help, so.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, really quickly, just
Go ahead.
as they're here, we have reps from County Supervisor's Office and Congressman's Office. National Night Out, I don't know if you want to steal a flyer from us to take one to your folks, but if you guys are willing to come out, and
Yeah.
you can invite your reps out too, that would be awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Lenora, you can talk to our supervisor and say, under his discretionary fund, would be more than happy to take any checks he wants to bring for that night, okay? You know what we're gonna do is, I think Councilmember Roth's gonna take more than a few minutes, so at this time, any further business, council? Then we are adjournment. Thank you, everybody. Oh, just a reminder, as I stated earlier, we are gonna be going into closed session, and after it's done, we'll be reporting out. We didn't quite complete all the items that we had in the closed session, but the regular portion of the meeting is concluded. Thanks.